You're probably wondering, where's Asjad, where's Cricket4Us 2.0, where's the PSL, what am I talking about, why am I here on my own? Well, the reason why is because this is just a quick introduction just to say that I will be doing the PSL breakdown of squads. So this video, as you can probably tell, is going to be from two teams. So in order, I'm going to be doing Karachi and Peshawar Zalmi together in one video, then Islamabad and Multan Sultans in another video, and Lahore and Quetta in the final video. So we broke it down to 3 videos previewing each team, 2 teams per video with Asjad from Cricket4Us 2.0. Hope you enjoy the videos, and that's all from me. Take it away and enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you. Hey guys, and welcome to QualityShot. As you can probably tell by the massive picture in that's taking up most of the screen, you don't have to see myself and Asjad's faces as big as normal, which is probably a good thing. Well, I don't know, it might be a bad thing. A lot of people have been calling Asjad handsome and beautiful, I think, in the comments. I haven't got it probably as much, I don't think, anyway. Might be wrong. On the live streams, I get it. Anyways, enough of that. We're going to be going over the PSL 2021 restart. So, as you can probably see, we are going to go through the squads very briefly, though, because we did a more, I would say, in-depth review of the replacement draft, but there have been some slight changes as well since then. So we'll go over that. Then we're going to go through, I'm going to check with Asjad, and we're going to talk about maybe 2 or 3 of the players from each team that we think are going to have the biggest impact come the restart. Also, the dynamic of the table, because we are going to be restarting. So there are some teams out in front, and also how the conditions in Abu Dhabi are going to impact, I guess, certain teams in a positive or negative way now that we've moved from Pakistan to Abu Dhabi. Before we get into that, Asjad, how are you doing?
I'm good. Just excited about the PSL finally starting after a lot of talks here and there, and then no PSL, yes PSL, Pakistan, UAE, England, some people were talking about. So, very excited. Let's see how it goes. Hoping for an Islamabad win, but, I'm going to say that, aren't I? But yeah, very excited to talk about PSL 2021 and the restart, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the England thing would have been crazy. I mean, might have actually been able to go to some of the games if that happened. That would have been great. Very weird, though. Very weird, but who knows? Anyways, let's go through the teams very quickly. I guess we'll just go through from left to right. So let's start off with Karachi, who are the reigning champions as well. So Imad Wasim, obviously, is the captain. I think I'll very briefly go through the list, and I guess we can talk about the notable players that we want to discuss. But Martin Guptill came in the replacement draft. Babar, then we know all about him. Mohamed Amir, Sar Pereira, who recently retired from international duty, which is interesting. Amir Yamin, Chadwick Walton, who is a wicketkeeper as well. Shajil Khan, the big hitting opener. Waqas Maqsood, Muhammad Ilyas, Zishan Malik, Danish Aziz, who has had an interesting start to his Pakistan career, let's say. Najibullah, Zadran, who's a very exciting all-rounder. Arshad Iqbal, who's exciting young talent for Pakistan. Qasim Akram, Abbas Afridi, Noor Ahmed, and Mohammad Haris. Asjad then, so obviously Karachi are in a decent position, in the table. They are still looking, I would say, odds on to make to go far and make that all important. I don't know if they'll make the final. Obviously, it's a bit of a toss up when you get to the qualifiers. But from here, they're doing pretty well. But in terms of, I guess, if I was to press you for 3 players you think who are going to be pretty integral now to them making the qualifiers, who would you pick and why?
First off, I'm going to pick Babar Azam. Dude needs to fire off in some sort of way, and he does really well in the UAE as well. So I think Babar Azam firing would be absolutely crucial, and I think he will. Abu Dhabi is a type of pitch where, yes, you get a bit of seam movement initially and a bit of swing, but eventually it does become batting friendly. It's the UAE. Obviously, that happens, okay? We saw, well, at least in the IPL last season, we saw teams chasing find it a lot easier, which is exactly what happened in the PSL prior to Quetta finally winning a game batting first. So it could be another tactic, and Babar Azam, even though he's not considered the best chaser around, but he can be very, very crucial in chases, especially if he's batting with someone like Shajil Khan, who could fire off, make a quick fire, 30 off 15 or something like that. So that would give Babar Azam some sort of stability at the top. Another player I want to talk about is what's his name? Waqas Maqsood. I don't think he'll play every game, but I think Waqas Maqsood is someone who has that change of pace. I was going to say Mohammad Amir, but Mohammad Amir I always hype up too much and then he doesn't over deliver. So Waqas Maqsood is a guy, you probably know of him in the past year or so, at least the past year or so. He's been doing well domestically in especially conditions which are not suited for pace bowlers, I must say. They're more suited towards spin or they're just flat tracks, batting pitches. So he will be quite important if Pakistan wants to go, if Karachi Kings wants to go ahead, right, in this specific tournament. And you mentioned a player who's recently retired, right, Peshawar Pereira from international cricket. Can't wait to see him. He's going to have a blast, right? He's probably going to bat 6 or 7 in these types of conditions. It's a flat track. He come in, absolutely bash it away. And usually Karachi doesn't do as well in the UAE as they do in Pakistan. But with a couple of these changes and, yes, some replacement drafts coming in, might give them a slight edge. Again, I don't think Karachi will win the tournament. I think Karachi Kings now, after those crucial changes from prior to the stop or the postponement, will hit them a little hard. But I think in general, Karachi Kings will get to the playoffs. The final or winning it is going to be a difficult one. But those are the 3 players I picked.
What about Martin Guptill then? Where do you think he fits in? And I mean, is it going to be Martin Guptill and Shahil Khan and Babar Azam at 3? Like, how do you see them lining up?
That's the thing, isn't it? They've kind of stacked up their side to make it difficult to fit anyone in. Zishan Malik is probably the keeper for them, right? If I'm not wrong. So Zishan Malik usually opens. How is he going to come into the
Chadwick Walton? Maybe
if Chadwick Walton plays, who are the other 2? The other 2 overseas players? Because Zadran would fit in. Yeah, he'd fit in quite well. Noor Ahmed will fit in, but it's difficult. That's all I'm thinking, because Karachi have stacked up their top order. They've done exactly what Pakistan has done, which is stacked up your top order, and middle order kind of goes at a not the best pace. They don't have Mohammad Nabi now either, right? So Chadwick Walton, if he's a regular in the side, that's 2 players straight away. 2 overseas players they've gone. Now they have to pick out the other 3, and I don't see Chadwick Walton being a staple, but now because he is the only main keeper, isn't he? The main keeper they can have. It's gonna be tough, and Guptill needs to play. Let's put it that way, right? Guptill is good enough, and he is almost like legendary status, right? Especially in white ball cricket. He definitely deserves to play. If he does, yes, I agree with you. Guptill, Shahil, Babar, and then they have to think about who's going to come in next, right? They have to think about, okay, do we send in our all-rounders up top? Do we send in Chadwick Walton at 4? And then you have Imad Wasim, maybe Peshawar Pereira, things like that. It'll be difficult to kind of stack up their side. I like Qasim Akram as a player. I've talked about him. He's considered a young version or an initial version of Shoaib Malik with the bat and with the ball, but I don't see him being a regular part of the side either. He might play if the pitches do show purchase for spin in the first couple of games. Then they'll say, okay, yeah, we'll bring in Qasim Akram. But if Guptill plays, I think their top order would be great, but everything after that would be quite hit and miss.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting because maybe it's the overseas matrix that's going to be the defining factor for Karachi, because before I think they were a lot more balanced. They had Joe Clark who was keeping and also at 3, which is just fantastic because then it just gives you that balance. And now they have to fit in all these openers and try and figure out where everyone's going to bat. And you've got Peshawar Preview and you've got Najibullah Zadran as well. So you've got all these different types of players to come in. Who do you play? Who do you don't? Who knows? But yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's go on to Peshawar Zalmi then. So with the captain and Wahab Riaz, Darren Sami, obviously the coach there. They've got Shoaib Malik, David Miller, Cameron Akmal, Shafain Rutherford, Fabian Allen, Ahmad Butt, Rovman Powell, Haider Ali, Fidel Edwards, Imam Al-Haq, Ahmed Asif, my boy, as everyone knows, Mohammed Irfan Senior, Imran Randawa, Abra Ahmed, Mohammed Imran Jr., who was in the squad, wasn't he, for Pakistan as well recently, Waqar Salam Akil, Amir Khan, and Bismillah Khan. Asjad, what do you think? There's a lot of West Indies in there, aren't there?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Most of your overseas could be packed up with West Indies players. I think they'll probably go with David Miller, and then Rothman, Edwards, and Fabian Allen. That's the dynamic I see, especially if they're playing in the UAE. Rutherford might, yes, he had a fantastic knock in a couple of games, but I think they'll start off with Rutherford and then switch over to maybe Rothman Powell, because we've seen him in the UAE, we've seen him in Sri Lanka, we've seen him in, especially in the T10 series. He had a pretty good T10 series, league as well earlier this year. So he's going to be an interesting pick. Yes, they've gone all West Indian, but West Indian players do fire very, very well in the UAE. I can't argue that. Even in India, right? So I'm excited to see this kind of dynamic with Peshawar Zalmi. In terms of, Heather Ali's there, Muhammad Imran Randawa, or Muhammad Imran Jr., the left arm bowler who actually impressed like crazy prior to the postponement of the PSL. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see how he gets on outside of Pakistan. He did well in Pakistan. I want to see how he does outside of Pakistan. He's a young pace bowler. He has a lot of variations, as we saw, right? So rather than us talking about, at least I wasn't talking about Dahani or Hasnan as much as I was talking about Imran, because of the economy that he got. He took wickets, but he was also very, very miserly. And that's something that's crucial for Peshawar Zalmi, especially if they have Wahab Riaz in the side. He's going to come in and maybe go for 1 billion runs. And then in the next game, what do you get? Like 3 for 19 or 4 for 19, something like that. So Wahab Riaz needs to step up as well. But yeah, I'm excited to see Muhammad Imran. I'm really excited to see Bismillah Khan. I don't think he'll play every game, but I saw a bit of him in the national T20, the second 11, and I thought he was very, very impressive. He's very aggressive, and it'll be hard to fit him in unless, players like, not Heather Ali, but, some other batsmen don't perform, then Bismillah Khan can kind of fit in there. But that top order, think of it, right? Kamran Akmal, Imam Ul-Haq, your other boy, right? You have David Miller. They have, if they have Fabian Allen, Rutherford, they have Shoaib Malik, Ahmad Butts in there, okay? Their side looks absolutely stacked and almost set for a victory in the UAE. I can't see any specific or any glaring weaknesses right now, considering they're playing in Abu Dhabi, right? They're not playing at Sharjah. They're not playing at Dubai. Abu Dhabi is the middle ground, right? It's not too big. It's not too small. The pitches do get a bit of pace, but also are pretty good for batting. The spin might be a slight issue, just a slight issue.
They're relying a lot on Fabian Allen, aren't they? A lot.
Yes, yeah. And Shoaib Malik won't be bowling his full quota, and I don't think he does anymore either. So it'll be tough. However, I think that pace side, so if Umayyad Asif plays, or Wahab Riaz plays, Fidel Edwards plays, these three pace bowlers, Ahmad Butt, right? Ahmad Butt does have decent variation with the ball. So all of these guys together, yes, they're pace heavy, but they look a lot better, for at least from my perspective, than someone like Karachi Kings. Karachi Kings, their spin department looks pretty weak, barring Imad Wasim. But to be honest, Zalmi looks the same, but their pace bowlers probably kind of make up for a lot of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's clearly the Caribbean connection with Darren Sammy and Peshawar Zalmi, clearly, isn't it? But yeah, very seam heavy, but interesting to see how the seam is doing in the UAE, which I'm sure we'll touch upon, because it can be a graveyard at times for the seamers. Yeah, thank you very much, Asjad. I really appreciate it. And look, I'm sure everyone knows already, but if you don't, please do go and check out Asjad's channel, Cricket4Us 2.0. Go and like, subscribe, and of course, comment on all his videos. And please remember to do so here as well. Make sure you like the video, share the video, and also subscribe to the channel. And I'm sure Asjad will be bringing out lots of PSL content as well. The World Test Championship finals, England versus New Zealand is starting at the same time. So that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to covering that and having no time on my hands. Plus, also, I want to be doing the French Open, which starts at the same time as well. So 3 different things going on at once. This is going to be crazy, but let's see how it goes. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.